Hello, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday morning live stream. I didn't put my contacts in, so it's gonna probably be a little funky for some people that really give me thumbs down for my glasses. But I need to see, right?
Thumbs down. Give them the thumbs down. Do it. Do it for the glasses.
So, what's up, everybody that's here? I saw some of our regulars, a couple new people. Awesome to see new people. We got a really interesting stream ahead of us today, but I got to get a couple things. I can see the monitors in your glasses. Yeah, that's what I mean. So a couple things to kind of get out of the way that happened here the last couple days. So this morning I woke up and what do you know? Take a guess what happened. What do you get? What's the guess, Desert Reef?
You had a leak.
That's right. And where did that leak? And where did that leak come from?
I have a feeling it came from something that I had nothing to do with.
That's true. Just take a guess.
Yeah. It came from the reef pot.
It absolutely came from the reef pot. And thank goodness I have leak detectors under my reef pot now. So it woke me up. I went and got it taken care of right away, and no harm, no foul. But it leaked again.
When are we gonna go office space on this thing? You know, like
when I get a Mastertronic, dude.
Well, I'm just waiting. I want to take that thing. I just want to grab it, and I want to literally football spike it into the ground once.
Oh, it's going to be. It's going to be football spiked. It's going to be more than football spiked.
We're gonna have.
So I got other news. So my Trident had an issue. So for those that don't know, I've had my Trident for ever. I say forever, but I mean I had one of the first manufactured ones. I actually bought it the day BRS had them for sale. I stayed up late and I bought it. And to this day, I've never had a single issue with my Trident. When are you throwing it in the trash? Well, Brandon, when I get a Mastertronic. And
throwing my life in the trash. That's what I'm
doing. No, Jake, they don't have a. I'm talking to them this morning, and they don't have anything. So Producer Reef actually had the same problem that I had, and I figured out what causes it, and I actually fixed it myself. So I'm going to kind of give this secret to some of you guys. Obviously, this isn't supported by Neptune, and it's not an official fix for anything. So don't do this unless you know what the heck you're doing and really get frustrated like I did. So yesterday morning, my Trident said no water sample. And it just kept saying no water sample. And I was like, what the heck is going on? This thing's been running, no problem. And I was like, what could be the problem with this? And I found out, I read online, there's a couple things. If you open up the top, there's a top black piece that exposes the cuvette. And it actually, that's where the mixing goes in, and that's where you can see if your water sample is working. So when you prime your water sample, that little cuvette fills up with water. So if it says no water sample and you still have water in there, that's a much bigger problem. But luckily, it was not getting water. I blew through the little tube. I did everything I could. And still, no water sample. And I would look and see that the water would never fill up. I'm like, what is going on? So I took the thing apart. I've taken it apart before. It's actually not difficult. And if you have some semblance of understanding of the pumps and everything inside, it's actually very easy how it works. And there's a little black kind of, I want to call it a highway, like a water highway. And water comes out of your tank into this little water highway and then goes into a stepper pump, which then pushes it to the cuvette. Also, your A, B, and C kind of do the same thing. They go through this little, I forgot what they're called. They're pinch, you know what they are, Aaron. The things that pinch the tube off. So there's 5 pinches, essentially, around it, and each A, B, and C go into this pinch and then goes into this, let's call it the water highway. It's this little black thing. And as the Trident requires one of the liquids, it pinches off the rest and then sends it to the stepper pump. Like I said, through a highway, essentially, right? Then what it does is it takes water from your sample, it goes into this water highway, that goes into the stepper, and then goes into the chamber, and then the stepper reverses direction and then pulls water out, goes back through the highway and out the waistline, and that's how it works. And I figured out, okay, what could be the problem? This is driving me crazy. So I took the little water highway out. It's this little black thing, and I put it in citric acid. I put it in there for about no more than like 15 minutes because the holes are very tiny. And I plugged it back in, and everything's bright as rain again. So
calcium buildup, right? From the water.
Yeah, it had to be something.
Salt creep.
It had to be something. So I'm hoping that Neptune comes out with like a filter maybe for their incoming line, so that stuff doesn't happen anymore. But that's how I fixed it. I had to literally take this thing apart, and I found that people are having this no water sample issue. It's probably just a clog in this little black thing. So if you guys are ever bored or want to open up your Trident, go open the drawer and look inside, and you can see what I'm talking about. And that's what happened, and I fixed it. Unfortunately, with the Reef Bot, everything I do, it still leaks.
There is no fixing the Reef Bot. The only solution is to smash it to pieces. It might work properly then.
So a couple things else going on. Let's see. I have a calcium reactor now. I've been running it for about 2 weeks. I have the dosing from my calcium reactor. I'm not using a peristaltic pump, I'm not using a continuous duty peristaltic pump. Sorry. And I'm doing a couple things, and I'm going to make a video probably today or tomorrow, and I'm going to explain how I did it. So for people out there that want to use their dose with their calcium reactor, it works phenomenal. It works absolutely terrific. I got Macy's Daddy asked which calcium reactor. I got a Geo. I'll also maybe post some pictures, or I might do a video on it itself. It's just a calcium reactor. There's not much to video on it, but the automation aspect of the calcium reactor is quite astonishing what I did. And I can't wait to show you guys this. Also, it's been like 2 weeks since I saw you guys, so there's a lot going on. Also, I had a meeting with SpectraPure. I actually went to SpectraPure's office, and we sat down for about 2 or 3 hours talking about improvements for their product. They're actually going to be on our stream at some point, hopefully here in the next month, to talk about some of the cool things they're doing over there. However, they also released a new product, and lucky me, they gave it to me for free to try and test. And once it's released, I'm going to be able to show you guys how to use it, and I'm really excited to show you. The Reef Hobbyist asked, could this be applied to kalkwasser? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll have to show you kind of how I do it, Reef Hobbyist, in that video. Stay tuned for that video. I hopefully will do it this weekend. I just got my second COVID shot, and I'm a little tired, so I don't know. Hopefully I can knock it out. So,
Got your COVID shot?
Yeah, because I want to save people's lives. But anyway, second to that, we do have a contest today. I forgot to mention it. We're going back to the old Derek's giving away stuff that's in his junk pile. And it's not going to Desert Reef. It is going to someone here. And it's going to be my Hanna Nitrate checker. I don't use it ever. Just too many steps. Not to say it's a bad product, but I just don't use it. With the Reef Bot testing my nitrate and with my NIOS nitrate kit, I just have no need for it. So I'm going to give it to someone. It's probably been used once or twice, and that's it. What?
Didn't you give me your Hanna phosphate checker?
I gave you my phosphate, and yes, you won it, actually. You won it in a contest.
Yeah. So you're going to split the setup. You're not going to let me get that one.
No. I mean, why would I? I got how many people in here today? 28 people that are more important than you.
No, well, that is true. I mean,
So you know what? You know what's really funny, guys? I swear to you, this is what happened this morning. So I woke up and I started thinking it was going to be about home automation today. I was like, we're going to do a home automation stream, and I started thinking, you know what would be more fun to do? Does Aaron know something? And have you guys ask him questions and see if he can tell you if he like a trivia type thing, but for fish tanks. Like, hey, Aaron, do you know what happens if you do so and so, or if this happens, what happens? And see how much he really knows about reefing.
I refuse. I refuse that challenge.
I thought that would have been. I thought that would have been. I thought that would have been hilarious.
Nobody needs to know how bad I know.
But I thought home automation is the right way to go. I was planning on having a fellow coworker on with us instead of Desert Reef, but we have Desert Reef. So the good news is Desert Reef actually knows about home automation. This he actually knows. This is his profession. This is my profession. This is how we met. So I can assure you guys what he's saying, most of the, I would say 90% of the time, is pretty good information. So
90% of the time. I'm the installer. You're the programmer.
But he doesn't realize that I installed for 5 years. So he doesn't know that I was an installer for 5 years. So
well, I'm now up to 6 years as an installer. So
yeah, okay. So I'm gonna encourage everybody on the stream to ask a lot of questions. Okay. I don't really have an outline for today. It's more I'm going to discuss kind of what we do and how I feel about home automation and kind of go through all the home automation stuff, how we can indeed integrate it into our fish tanks. And I'm going to really ask a lot of you guys to ask questions today because this is going to be a really good stream. So to get started, let's discuss, and Aaron, of course, is going to probably have a couple things that are differences of opinion to me, so that's fine. So me and Aaron really focus on Crestron home automation. For those that don't know what that is, if you go online to Crestron.com, it's C-R-E-S, like the Crest, the toothpaste, Crestron, R-O-N, .com, you can see, kind of get an idea of what it is. Everything that Crestron makes, with the exception of maybe, and you can attest to this, maybe their thermostat and some of their commercial products, are blank. They're blank boxes. They don't do anything. It's kind of like a puzzle. You get a puzzle in a box, you have to put it together. So everything you buy from Crestron requires someone, such as myself, Aaron sort of, such as myself, to program it to make it work, okay? Unlike other systems that are out there are many systems. There's Control4, Savant. There's also a lot of do-it-yourself stuff, like stuff you go to Home Depot and find, like light bulbs and smart things and Philips Hue hubs, and I mean, there's tons of them. Those are pre-programmed for you, so there's nothing you have to do. So the biggest difference between what I do for a living and what you see like at Home Depot is it requires someone that has been to school, that has that understands all the product and how they interact with each other. So generally, most of the stuff I do is for, big homes, a lot of large-scale stuff, because the automation systems are doing so much. It's not like you're just turning on a light, right? Aaron knows a little bit of programming, but not obviously to my stature. But
I say I know a lot more. I'm just not as fast as you. Like what would take you 10 minutes would take me 2 hours.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
it's just the experience in programming, the knowing the key bindings and how to get in there.
So Crestron has released, by the way, a new product, which I personally don't like because it takes food off my table, and that is a product that actually kind of programs itself. And obviously, it's something that I can't really endorse because it's something that literally is taking my job away. Aaron uses it. Yeah, Aaron uses it. His company uses it. I'm just going to leave it at that. So
it depends on the job. We have as a matter of fact, I'm sure you heard, we have a job that we're working on, possibly up in Flagstaff, that we're going to take, and the job's just too big to do the Crestron Home. It comes down to size. The Crestron Home is more suited for small home, easy installation stuff.
Right.
So
here's the thing about Crestron. So you guys could probably go on eBay, not eBay, YouTube, and learn how to program. But you're learning from people that have no freaking clue what they're doing. So if you're ever invested or interested in Crestron, get a professional to do it, such as myself, or such as someone in your area that's Crestron certified, and you can go on their website and find out who they are. I will never go on my YouTube and teach people how to program Crestron. There's just so much involved to learn how to do it. So like I said, I don't really have an outline today, so I'm going to really ask that you guys ask a lot of questions. But Crestron makes everything. I think they have over 3,000 something products. They make shades, they make thermostats, they make light switches, they make, you name it, anything for automation, they make it. They make relay controllers, they make input controllers, remote controls, touch panels, everything. And really, really cool stuff.
You're missing the key thing, right? So Crestron makes lighting controls, right?
Yeah.
Some of the best on the market, lifetime warranty. Crestron makes shade motors, some of the best in the market, lifetime warranty. Crestron makes speakers. They're decent. They're not the best in the market, but they're okay. Lifetime warranty. So the thing about Crestron, the reason why we use it over a lot of others is because of the fact that they stand by their products. They wholeheartedly back it up. But as everybody knows, Crestron is spelled with a $ in the front, So it's just it is what it is. But man, my whole house is Crestron, and I will never go back. I'll never go back. My rack will come with me everywhere I move.
Yep, I have Crestron in my house too. You brought up a good point. Crestron is worldwide. Unlike some of these other products that you'll see out there, they are a worldwide company. They have offices and headquarters in almost every continent. So they're a big time company, guys. Most of the government here in the United States is run off of Crestron. Most of our government buildings are on Crestron. Approximately 75% of the stadiums in the United States are run off of Crestron. I think it's something like 95% of the casinos in Las Vegas are run off of Crestron. So we're talking, this is some big deal stuff for home automation, right? So, like I said, we got a lot of stuff that you can find just about anywhere. I mean, you can find it at Home Depot. You can find it on Amazon. You got the Philips Hues. You got all that stuff. You got the Smart Things. I've said Smart Things are, fantastic products because Smart Things is great because Smart Things can control your aquarium, right? So you can buy this little hub, this little Smart Things hub, and buy a bunch of outlets and control your aquarium, kind of like the Neptune. It's basically doing what the Neptune does. The only difference in Neptune is you get pH, you get salinity and temperature and so forth. But technically, guys, you could go out and buy a Smart Things hub. I think it's $75, and then buy a bunch of wireless dimmers. And I think they're not wireless dimmers, wireless outlets, and they're probably, I think, $20 to $30 a piece. So you could really get a great automation system with using Smart Things, guys. So I really, well, I have to put it up here because no one will know. Does Derek run on Crestron? Yeah, I run on Crestron. So they have apps. They have all kinds of stuff. They have Smart Things kind of does power monitoring, Brian Mitchell asked. They do have an ability to alert you if the power was to go too low or too high. So they kind of have power monitoring, but not to the extent that Neptune has it. Is Aaron's swords automated? To do what?
Yes, they are. They're definitely this dog is automated. Automated to run and go crazy.
So unfortunately, we don't have a lot of people in here today. We have 23-ish people, and we need 25. We need 25 to get that contest going, guys. So get some friends in here. Get some even family members. Except for Brian Bench. He's not allowed to have family members in here.
So, here, I got some questions for you, Derek. So let's talk about what we have done regarding integrating some of our aquariums and stuff like that into our home automation. Like, for example, the tank behind me. I actually control the lighting from the Crestron system because I happen to like that it sets the times with my other aquarium and keeps them synchronized together the entire time without having to run a bunch of cables across my house or link them up in other ways. So that's one thing that I use my Crestron automation for regarding my fish tanks. I also use it to control a pump for auto watering plants in my reptile room. You know what I mean?
Oh, that pond?
No, not the pond.
No pond? No pond?
No pond.
No pond? That's too bad. Everybody was hoping for a pond update.
I shut it down a while ago.
Yeah.
I'm actually in the process of getting. So in Arizona, we have a thing called Blue Stake, where you call a company out and they basically mark your property on wherever gas lines are, electrical lines are, stuff like that. So I'm in the process of getting that done, and I'm having an excavator come out and they're going to actually dig me a massive pond in my backyard. So I am in the process of actually building a true, authentic, real pond to the person that asked me what qualifies as a pond.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see, guys. There's a lot of I'm gonna do this and do that from this guy. Speaking of which, he's gonna have his hydros back soon, guys. He's gonna have his hydros back. He convinced me. I was gonna give it away, but it's too good to be true to give it back to him.
Yeah.
But for those that don't know, I have an entire GHL I'm going to be selling. So he needs more than the hydros, Aaron. He needs a lot more. Robert, how was Pacific East Aquaculture? Because that's a great place, man. I've ordered every clam, guys, that I've ever bought is from Pacific East Aquaculture. And every clam I've ever bought from them, again, Pacific East Aquaculture, sorry, has done flawless. I mean, my squamosa that I have is doing fantastic. If you guys ever want really good quality clams, they are expensive, I'm not going to lie, get them from there. They really, really are great.
Hey, Fusion, whether I bury a 300-gallon tank in my backyard or not, it's none of your concern.
Well, not only is he going to bury the 300-gallon tank in his yard, I'm going to come over and bury him in that 300-gallon tank. Yes, the reef hobbyist. I've always preferred Neptune over GHL. If you take a look at some of my videos, I have a lot of videos on both of them. It's been hit or miss with GHL for me. Neptune has always been really solid for me, and other than a couple glitches here and there, it's they make good products. Yeah, a lot of people say they're kind of chintzy and they're made of plastic, and I don't really care about that. I don't really go to like my car, for instance. I don't go to my car and go, oh, it's made of aluminum and not steel. Like I don't really care what it's made of.
An in-ground pool that can be apex controlled. I would tell you right now that I would, if you're going to do anything with a pool, go with Pentair equipment.
Yeah. So another thing Aaron's really good with is pool stuff.
My family owns a pool business, and I've been in the pool industry for 15, 16 years now. I know everything about pools. So if you're going to do a pool, I highly recommend Pentair. You can actually, believe it or not, you could, if you were to take a pool and turn it into a fish tank, for example, or a pond, you could actually integrate a Neptune into it by drilling holes in the return plumbing and putting your sensors in where the water flows. Or creating a loop so you get a slower flow of water through it, just enough that the sensors can read. So it's possible.
Yeah. The pond, aka 55-gallon acrylic tank. No, see, Mathis, you're totally off. It's gonna be a. Have you ever seen Encino Man? I know some of you guys might be a little bit too young for Encino Man.
I haven't seen it.
Remember when they built a pool in the backyard and then they found a caveman? That's pretty much what he's going to be doing.
we're not going to talk about it.
Guys, he's going to find dead people. Watch.
It's so bad. So bad.
Anyway. Bobby Boucher. Oh, boy. Anyway. That was too funny. I'm just thinking about if you guys can imagine thinking about him and Sean Austin and Pauly Shore digging a pool outside, and he hits ice, and he's like, "Well, I guess I can't put a pond back here." I don't know. I don't know why I found that so funny. Man. So there's a lot of stuff out there that Crestron can control. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that, like I said, Smart Things, Pentair. What's the best automation you guys have done? Carrie asked, your best friend.
Best automation I've done. I mean, it varies on house, but I mean, we've done some really cool ones. One you did for us with Robinson, I thought that was a pretty cool one just because of the complexity of how big the house was. We have a client had a 32,000 square foot house that we had, I think, 15 TVs in the house, along with pool controls. The pool had water slides and rock climbing, and a spa that spilled down in the waterfall. We automated a cabana outside where you can watch TV from there, and we had to use wireless things to get it communicating. It was actually a really interesting job. I'd say that was one of my a really nice one that we did. A big job.
So he brought up a good point. Most of the jobs we do, guys, are gigantic homes. I mean, we're talking. There's 2 jobs I'm doing right now that are. One of them has 19 televisions, about 42 rooms of audio. We're talking gigantic stuff, guys. And then again, I've been doing this for about 20 years. He's been doing it for about 6. And yeah, we see tons of different houses. We see tons of different automation. So Carrie, it's very difficult to say any cool automation because it's really depend on a number of things. There's a dependent upon me, obviously, as a programmer to do kind of cool stuff, but it's also dependent on the customer and what they want, So that's the thing is I have the imagination, but sometimes I can't implement the imagination if the customer really doesn't want it. Some customers just want to get in their house, push a button, and everything turn on, right? But then there's some other customers that micromanage us and want every single little thing that they can do. I would say the coolest thing I've done, I did for a baseball player a long time ago. It was about 2 or 3 years ago. And he had a touch panel that had picture-in-picture on the touch panel that hooked up to his projector in his theater. So when he would go on his touch panel, he would have 4 screens. And when he clicked on one of the screens, he could change the channel and see the channel actually on the touch screen. Do his guide, do everything he needed to, and then push a button right underneath it, and it would send it to the projector. And also it was picture-in-picture. So he could take any one of those, and he could send all 4 of those screens to his projector. So that was really something really cool I did. A lot of our customers also have, I forgot who makes it, maybe is it called Vision Art, where it's a painting that goes over your TV. And it slides up to expose the TV because unfortunately there's obnoxious rich, let's call them Karens, that don't want to see their TV in their bedroom or don't want to see a TV anywhere. So we got to sell them these ridiculously expensive, huge, heavy picture things that come down, and we got to program them. There's also I also did one where, and I think Carrie would get a great kick out of this. Is the guy had a Nike shoe room, okay, and all of the shoes he had hundreds of shoes, guys, and behind all the shoes he had these colored panels, and on his touch panel, if he pushed red, they would turn red. If he pushed yellow, they would turn yellow, and he could change any color he wanted behind the shoes. Furthermore, in the middle of this room, he had a TV, and the TV would come out of this case, and he can swivel it in any direction. So some cool stuff. One of those. Yeah.
I've done also. You said talking about TVs in weird areas. I've done ones where we put the TV behind a mirror, two-way mirror on one end, so we hide the TV. Actually, we put it into the wall and then put a mirror over the front of it, and so that you can watch TV when you're getting ready in the morning. We've done Cantera fireplaces where above it you have a metal shutter that opens, revealing a TV, but when it's closed, it's painted to match exactly the Cantera, so it's really, really nice.
That's true. I've done that.
Yeah, I mean, hell, even you talk about something with the automation. My computer is hooked up to my home automation, so I can view my computer on any TV throughout my house with a click of a button. So I can take a wireless mouse and keyboard and go anywhere in my house, and I have access to my computer. So
yeah, yeah. I mean, we do all kinds of crazy things. Pools is a big thing here in Arizona. So there's a lot of cool pool stuff we do. You guys probably see this in movies, but I've done TVs that come down from the ceiling over a pool so they can watch. I did a projector on a pool. The screen was like 200 inches, and it would come down over the pool, and then a projector would come down. I mean, crazy stuff like that. It's really cool stuff. And guys, if you haven't seen my home automation video for my house, you really should take a look at it, because I got all kinds of crazy stuff going on in my house, and all my stuff is voice controlled, and I'm a little insane. But if you can do it, do it. That's how I look at it.
Scuba JT says, does my maid control the TVs for you? No, it doesn't control my TVs, but I do have a touchscreen on the wall that my maid can use to light up the house for cleaning modes and stuff.
It's funny. He probably has his maid control him, not his TV. I have Crestron that controls me, and he has a maid that controls him.
Well, to each his own. Did I get my Trump vaccine? Can we? Why? Can I just ask one question? Why do people got to bring up politics in a stream? I hate it on my own when I'm Twitch streaming that people bring up politics. Look, yes, I'm a Trump supporter. What does that matter? It doesn't. It doesn't matter. Because guess what? Right now, Biden's our president. It is what it is. We just leave it alone. Thank you.
I don't. Scuba, you could continue to do whatever you want, by the way, because I don't care. Unlike him, I don't care. What's my favorite home automation item? Colt, I have to say, and I know people are going to get mad at me, I have to say voice control. I do a lot of stuff with voice control. Like when I go to bed, I can say, go to bed, and it will do all kinds of stuff. And I can do, I can come home and say, hey, I'm home, and then it does a bunch of stuff for me. I can say I'm leaving. It arms my security system, does all kinds of things for me. I mean, there's really cool stuff that you can do with voice activation, and I think that's my favorite personally. I would have to say some of the bigger type, if this happens, then do this type of stuff is really cool with Crestron. If you happen to, like for instance, my garage door. Here in Arizona, it gets so hot, you don't want to leave your garage door open, especially if you have a fish tank like I do in there. So I have something that alerts me if the garage door is open, So it's really cool stuff. Reef Hobbyist asks, is voice control ever buggy? It really is not with Crestron. With other stuff I have noticed, like Neptune, it is pretty buggy. It doesn't really understand what you're saying. But absolutely, with Crestron, I've never had any problems.
Yeah, with the Amazon Alexas, I mean, they integrate with Crestron so flawlessly. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
And TJA, exactly, dude, exactly. We have proximity sensors that can do all kinds of crazy stuff, dude. I have a phone app that will tell you when I'm home and when I'm not home, and if I'm not home, do certain things, and when I'm home, do certain things. If my wife's home, do certain things. It's ridiculous the stuff you guys can do with home automation nowadays. Hey, Scuba! I haven't heard that one in a long time. Scuba likes you, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, Harkins, I don't like that idea, and I've thought about that for a while. So Harkins Aquatics said my garage door auto closes after 10 minutes. I do not want my garage door auto closing. I think again, garage doors obviously have the sensor if something's in front of it, but I totally would never do that. I would think, especially with my cars, that there's a potential it might, go on a car or on a person or something. So I don't do that. Any automation for ambient CO2? No, I'm starting to look into that more though, because now with the calcium reactor on the tank, and now I'm using Kalkwasser as well, I'm still having some low pH issues, so I'm going to look into that. I'm cheap, so I have TP-Link and Casa Smart. You know what, man? It doesn't matter what kind of automation you have. They're all really, I will tell you this, and I don't know if Aaron wants to chime in on this. The do-it-yourself automation stuff has a lot of vulnerabilities, unfortunately. There's so much of a chance, especially with the cheaper stuff, that someone can get into it, whereas Crestron is almost impossible to get into it if it's set up properly. So I always fear that type of stuff. You think it's my brother? My brother would never come on our stream, ever. He's sleeping right now.
But I definitely don't know who the heck Scuba is.
Well, Scuba, don't tell him. Let's keep it that way. Because I know who it is. So guys, I would venture to say the do-it-yourself stuff is great. It's cheap, but just kind of be diligent with how you set it up. Make sure you have a good password. Make sure you don't have any vulnerabilities on your network. Don't put in some cheap network. I've said this many times. Watch my stream on networking. Cheap networks are going to make your do-it-yourself home automation even worse than what it is. Again, Reef Hobbyists, it's not your network that the issue is. It's the company. So like Fusion, and I can say this about Neptune also, it's off of a cloud. So if that cloud was to ever get penetrated in any fashion, they can get on your Apex, right? It's the same thing with any of these other systems. The biggest difference between Crestron and, let's just say, SmartThings or Philips Hue and all that stuff is those all run off of clouds. Crestron does not run off of a cloud. Crestron runs off of your home's network, and you are talking to your home's network. So there's no cloud involved with Crestron. That's what makes it so much more secure.
And we also secure it by not doing port forwarding now. We also use VPN connections directly to the house for our clients to give them access from outside the house. Right. Which allows them to VPN in versus. So again, you're at that point. Crestron is the most secure way of automating your house because of the way that they.
Right. Like Control 4 runs off of a cloud, right? Control 4 runs off of a cloud. Pretty much everything you guys have been talking about in the stream runs off of a cloud. I mean, we're talking anything that you have a sign on with a username and password runs off of a cloud, guys. So those servers are vulnerable. Now, again, we're talking very, very little possibilities. But for the more, let's say, richer companies like Ring, Nest, powered by Google, there's a good chance that those are never going to be penetrated. But if you go out and buy some Junko camera, for instance, or from China that has absolutely no security on it, then yeah, you have potentials to get hacked. Carrie, I would recommend that you watch my video. I have a lot of cool automation in my house. Thank
I don't
you.
like
Thank you
scuba
for the
diving.
networking video. Yeah, the networking video is really helpful for guys out there that aren't really knowing kind of how networks should be run in their house for security. Harkins, that's a really tough question. How much does a basic restaurant system cost? There's really no such thing as a basic restaurant system. I wish I can.
Okay, well, hold on. Let's say let's throw together a basic restaurant system. Okay, so you need a processor. That processor, the main bare minimum processor, could run you about $1,800, right? It's about around there, right? So processor. Then let's say you want to add a couple lighting switches. Well, each light switch that you add is $300 a piece. So times up by however many lights you want to add in there. Okay, so now you want to add a thermostat so you can control the thermostat from your automation. Well, that's another $250, $300 as well, right?
Yep.
So you add that. You want to add garage controls. Well, it depends on if you want to hardwire it or if you want to use a remote module. If you use a remote module, that's another $300. So, and that's okay.
The
So
parts.
there's your lighting and your processor. The most basic way of doing it. That's no audio controls. That's no video controls. So that is just the most basic, bare minimum automation stuff.
And that doesn't include installation, and you need a professional. You need a professional programmer to program it. It's not something that you can program without proper training. So, I mean, big bucks, guys. I mean, yeah, Harkins, it's big bucks. I can tell you.
Howard,
can I get a friends and family discount?
Yeah. I was gonna say I install it and I don't get a friends and family discount. There's no discount.
Yeah. So, this is why I mean, I love my job, but this is why I do it. Because it's a field that is, again, a lot of people don't know it because unfortunately it's a lot of people that are super wealthy that get the stuff. Again, it's for large stadiums, it's for government agencies. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars, guys, and this is why I do it. Not for the money necessarily, but there's always going to be a need for it, and that's why I continue to do it.
Yeah. And I know that you say that the new product that they came out will take it away. I'll tell you this, and I keep telling everybody this, other people that we know and mutually, there is no. I don't think your job's ever going to go away. There's always going to be a need because you can't do the large systems like we normally do with the new products. It's just not going to be compatible. I know for a fact that they're going to continue to have to use. That's why they came out with the 4 series. That's not that new, programming type. So,
Well, Manny's Reef, that's why I wanted to have this stream. I wish there was more people, but I'm happy that the people we have are here. But home automation for me is not like what you guys see on TV. That's kind of what I was getting at here. What me and Aaron do is quite unknown. It's not many people know this stuff until you have lots of money that you can throw at it. Then you're like, oh, well, then I want to do Crestron, right? Let's see. Someone had a good question. Oh, Mastertronic. Guys, I can't get a Mastertronic, dude. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to be cordial about it, but now I'm starting to get a little kind of pissed about it. I mean, I'm willing to pay full price for it, but no one wants to send me one. I don't know, guys. I don't know when I'll get one. They seem to be more in Europe than here in the United States, at least right now. Yeah, Bill Gates has a home automation system that costs over $8 million. That is correct. And guess what runs it? Microsoft and Crestron.
Yeah.
How hatchable are home systems? I don't know what hatchable means, Lee. Are we talking about your kid that you're having with Aaron's mom? Did she hatch it out of an egg? Hatchable?
I'm gonna smack you. We're not gonna go there. Try to get it. 60 shipped to the U.S. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go out of my way to find a Mastertron and get my hands on one just before you can, just so I can come on stream one day and go, ha ha, I got one, you don't.
You know, he'll do that, guys, and then he'll break it, and then he'll be calling me to fix it.
It's so true.
So Lee, I don't know if you were late to the stream, but I kind of went over this a little bit already. It's not necessarily hackable into your own home. A lot of people have that misinformation. People that are hacked, let's say, or people that are generally going to have people on their computers are people that open up vulnerabilities into their home. Now, if you get a really good router or you get a really good network, there's a very good chance that you're not going to get that to happen to you. Now, is it possible that someone can hack your Ring camera? Absolutely. But they're not hacking your network. You got to understand. They're hacking Ring. They're hacking the server that Ring is on. Does that make sense? So generally, as a general sense, people are not going to be able to get into your house if you have a good network.
J-Fusion, you're correct. I don't ever buy equipment. I just get it from Derek. And then Scuba, yes, he did get his Hydros back a while ago, but I'm about to get it back next weekend.
Yeah, guys. Oh, God. So I'm curious for the people that are here. I mean, what kind of Hydros videos could I do? Like I was starting to like come up with some ideas, and then I'm like, this stuff is so freaking easy. Like, why should I have a tutorial on something that's so easy? You know, I have 2 Hydros videos on YouTube, and it's like, it's such basic stuff. Like, I don't know if I'm really teaching anybody anything. You know, the videos I'm going to be doing here in the next couple weeks are crazy cool stuff, but it's not Hydros. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah. Sorry.
Throw them in the pond.
Yeah. No, but my breakfast is here.
I mean, yeah, Aaron, I could probably do like advanced programming for Hydros, but even that is simple. You know? There you go. Reef Hobbyist just brought my point up exactly. So the Apex itself is being hacked by Amazon Web Services, right? Not the home. You understand? So if your Apex was in your home and it was not on Fusion, there's a very, very slim chance that someone's going to hack it. But once you expose it to the internet and expose it to the cloud, then you can have an issue if someone gets into your information. That's why passwords are so important. You know, there's so many things you got to be careful about when you do your passwords and how you do your passwords and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, that's definitely something you all should think about going forward. Is the secure passwords, encrypting your password. I mean, you know, we because of the fact that we do this home automation stuff, we're exposed to all of these different things that people find to hack and steal passwords and stuff like that. And the fact that, you know, when we're setting up these homes, we have access to people's homes. So
correct.
When it comes to security and passwords and stuff like that, we have to be at the top of our game when it comes to security, because of the fact that if somebody was to hack through our stuff or get in through because of something we did, we're liable for that. We're liable for the damages. So security is a major thing for us. So we're just a lot more conscious about what security risks there are. And as he said, having stuff that's on the cloud I have an Apex, but you know, it's on a private subnetwork that doesn't have anything else in my house on it. Like I have a separate subnet that I keep stuff like that attached to, specifically to keep it out of the hands of other people.
Yeah, so you know, it's a very loaded question, Reef Hobbyist, you know, because depending on the system that you put in, and depending on how much information you know about networking, you know, some people go out and they buy a Best Buy router, throw it in, and assume that they're safe. Well, that's not necessarily the case if you don't know how to set it up properly. You know, Manny's Reef. You know, about Manny's Reef, I gotta say, I kept looking at your logo for your YouTube, and I thought it was a smiley face or a face or something, but it's actually 2 helicopters. I just noticed that.
you read what James Speed said?
I'm not there yet. I'd rather see advanced programming feature for GHL. Your videos have been made already, but I couldn't GHL, you know. My password is incorrect, so when I type it in wrong, it says your password is incorrect. There you go. Harkins just kind of mentioned what I was saying. Went through a port in his AC system. That's the thing. If you guys don't know how to do networking, someone can get in. You know, back in the day, probably about 5 years, maybe 6 years ago, before Aaron might have started doing this work, Crestron used to use a port for their systems, right? And that port was so open to the internet that people started to get all these, I say China because it really was China, Chinese hackers getting into the Crestron systems because they had opened this specific port, and it's so well known that people were just getting into all the Crestron systems. Finally, yeah, so finally Crestron made it so every single new processor that has new firmware, that port is closed and can't be accessed. So.
And actually, and more recently, it was Russian hackers that were using it to get a hold of Crestron processors. They would hack into them, and they would install a cryptocurrency miner in it.
Oh God, yeah.
Have you not dealt with one of those yet? I've had a couple.
Oh my God.
Those pissed me off because we could not figure out what was going on until we finally had the engineer look at the logs. And we found out that there was a program running on the processor that's not native to Crestron. And we found out it was a cryptocurrency miner.
So well, I'll get to Reef Hobbyist question here, but I'm curious what Matt Greer is saying. People answer these Facebook questions like your porn name and first car and your mother's maiden name. I'm not exactly sure what you mean, but I thought whatever that is, it's funny. Would you be able to access my network through the Apex? So let me explain that a little bit. If your Apex is open for some reason, right, they're going to get into your Apex, right? Computers by themselves, just sitting in your house, are vulnerable to thousands of ports. I mean, tons and tons of different ports. There's 62,000 ports that someone can get into your computer, and it only takes one, like Harkins just said. Now, your computer has built-in firewall software. That's why there's firewalls in computers. And what those do is they block those ports from the outside in case some idiot set up their router and opened all the ports. Then the computer itself has security at that point. So to answer your question, Reef Hobbyist, if someone can get into your Apex and only your Apex, then no, they wouldn't be able to get to anything else, just the Apex. Because the Apex would run off of a specific port. My Apex runs off of port 80, right, which is pretty standard for everything, and I changed it. If you guys go to your Apex, there's a port assignment, and you can actually change it. By changing it, you're leaving your Apex less vulnerable. I don't recommend it.
69, 69, 69. So
that's right. So you know. So. Oh, why do I continue to have you on my streams?
Because people enjoy our little banter back and forth.
What happened to Scuba? Scuba, dude.
Scuba disappeared. He said, I've had enough of this nonsense.
Well, the good news is Scuba's not going to get booted from something. He's going to be here no matter what he says. So that's because I believe Scuba is a moderator, so he's not going anywhere.
Scuba is a moderator.
Yeah, exactly. So he's not going anywhere.
All right, so do we got anything else we want to talk about? Is there any other questions out there you guys want to ask us? I know we're getting close to that hour mark.
Yes. And he has to go work on his pool or his pond.
What's your spouse's favorite automation? I'd say the voice control, especially because at night when we can say good night, with the voice control, it turns everything off without having to walk around the house, turn switches off, TVs off, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, my wife is not. I don't know if she doesn't like the automation in the house, but it's totally over her head, and she loves the fact that she could just say things and stuff happens. It's so much easier for people that aren't, nerds like me. they could just say something and something happens as long as it's programmed properly. So I would say, Brock, that's definitely my spouse's favorite automation feature, I would say. Well, guys, we got 30 people in the contest today, which means we are actually going to run a contest. I know it's been a while. Fortunately, Derek's been broke, but good news. We're going to be having Paul from Neptune on in 2 weeks. I got Paul coming, and we're going to be giving away an Apex, so stay tuned for that. Next week, I hope we can get Parker's Reef on here. He's in Australia. We're going to have him on. He's a big automation guy. We have, who else we got coming on? We got SpectraPure, like I said, coming on, so that's going to be cool. I got a couple videos that I need to do. I'm trying to get back into the YouTube. Now that the summer's coming, work's going to slow down a little bit, so I'll have some more time. For those that don't know, our busy season is generally November to March-ish, April-ish, so it's starting to slow down a little bit. Yeah, we're going to have some cool guys coming on, some giveaways again, so I look forward to seeing everybody. Hopefully we'll get some more people in and get some cool stuff going. Let's see. I don't have an Apex, so I'd love to have one. Oh, there you go. Harkins, you'll have to come to that stream then. Stay tuned. All right, so let's give away a Nitrate checker. So it's been a while since I give away a stream. So guys, whoever wins, just give me a message on Facebook, and we'll get it shipped out to you. Okay. Okay, the winner today is Jake Speed. You are our winner today, sir. It's good because he asked a bunch of questions.
Yeah, Jake Speed was on top of it with a bunch of stuff today.
Oh. So. Nice, Jake. Well, reach out to me on Facebook. Yeah. Just kind of a chill stream today. I don't really have anything planned.
Yeah, there's Jake Speed. So Jake Speed's here. So okay. Yeah, this was fun. I enjoyed this one. It was just a nice, relaxed, good entertaining stream.
That's why I put the palm trees behind me. I want it to be chill. And then you got swords behind you.
And my cable for my new Oculus Rift that I have to clean up.
You're such an idiot, dude. You're such an idiot. Oh my God.
I'm not an idiot. I'm literally about to get off the stream and go back to playing VR.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's. I'll tell you. This is so I know VR's been out for a while. I know we're getting ready to leave, but I just want to tell you. I know VR's been out for a while. First time I've actually gotten to really play VR. It's everything you would think it is. It's amazing. It's great. So.
Yeah, I have VR on my flight simulator. It's freaking amazing. Freaking amazing.
Yeah, I saw that they have the flight simulator for it.
Oh. All right, folks.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for coming. I hope you had a good time. And look forward to the next stream. See you guys. Have a great weekend.